Thank you for tuning in. This is the breakdown instrumental part of Come to the Altar, the Spanish version that I worked on with my amazing friend Coco. I'm just going to take you a sneak peek in terms of how I thought about the arrangement structure of this song, from the piano arrangement to the instrumentation that I actually selected to piece all this together. The inspiration for this project really came from, I worked on one actually with another friend of mine. It's already out on YouTube, so you can check it out. I was blessed enough to come across Coco for us to be able to piece this together. So here we go. In terms of the chord, as you know, it's just, right? So what you heard was the chord progression, right? But I also have the Rhodes playing the same thing. So both of these, I fused them together. So I have the piano part recorded. And then add the Rhodes on top of that. I followed the arrangement step by step. I didn't really change any of the progressions. I know some people that does covers of this song, they variety it up. For me, it was much more of the arrangement, orchestration, instrumentation, because I'm more of a producer, so I try to make things just feel and sound different and not focus on all the different chord progressions that you can change around. It's not really where my strength lies in. And then the next instrument that I have here, bass. There we go. I used 3 stacks of bass. That was the first sound. The second one was this here. So it's this deeper bass. You feel that? I could have just had this by itself. It would have made the room feel full. It's playing the same thing. And then the third bass I had, as you can hear, I have a little bit of reverb on it on purpose because I wanted it to sound that big. So the next and last part of this bass, it's the real bass. So I love this bass from Contact. Actually, I have an older version of Contact. I am actually still using Logic 9 because I have majority of my sound still on there. I have Logic X, bought a new laptop just so I could utilize it. And I got a friend of mine, he's always on top of me trying to make sure I use the latest and greatest. But I don't know, sometimes the old stuff, they still hitting, right? So they still good. So right? So that's that bass. Originally, that's the part I recorded with, and then I used the other layers of bass on top of that. So let's hear how that sounds together, so you guys understand where I'm coming from, right? When I first worked on this song, actually, I didn't have no bass layers on top of it. It was plain piano. There we go. It was just plain piano. But the emotions was there. It was captured. I knew if I could capture the piano piece, and it's not about me being a perfect piano player. It's about me expressing my feelings and emotions, and it transpires to you because God gives it to me down here, and I'm reflecting it back to you how I see it. Sometimes it's not the person that can play all like 7th, 8th chords in every chord transitions that they do. It's all about letting the emotions transpire. So the piano, I did not change anything. The timing, Wherever I messed up, I kept it as is, because messing up, I want you to understand something, is that mistakes have to be welcome and appreciated. When you mess up against something, it's art. It's an art form. People take that sometimes beautifully. A lot of the creative inventions that you see out in the world, they were accidents. They were complete mistakes, but they came to be because the person persisted, believed, someone connected to it. And mistakes are beautiful. They have to be welcome and appreciated a lot much more. It's when you make mistakes, you know that thing is going to be a mistake and you still do it again. That's shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that. I left everything as is. To me, that's perfection. And I want you to always feel that about yourself. Just because we ain't perfect or missing something, you could still have the capability to touch people's lives in so many different ways. So that's what I'm hoping with this as well. So that was a plain piano version, right? But now let's hear him with just the bass. Si al final del camino estás sin saber hacia dónde. The thing working with Coco and all the other singers too, I mixed this with just a plain piano version to make sure the dynamics matched up. And I can open that for you actually. I'm going to open it so I can let you hear and experience what do I mean. You're like, wait, what? You did what? What do you mean? So what you're going to hear is just the piano rendition of it with his original vocals. I'm going to strip all the effects off so you can hear how it sounds pretty dry and cut, because I look for that in everyone that I work with to make sure that they're delivering the emotions and feeling without all that extra fancy reverb, EQ, and before I process anything. Because once I add all these stuff, it should make it even extra spectacular. So I'm going to open that up right now. I'm going to leave the compressor though. I'm gonna let it play to the chorus. He has a very timbre, soft voice. And before I even mixed it, I knew what I was gonna do with it. Ven ante su trono, el Padre te recibirá con sangre preciosa, Jesús. Although I'm not releasing this one, if you would like to get a copy of this with just the piano and his version, or in any particular way, just reach out to me. You could sign up in the link below and let me know exactly what it is that you want, and I'm more than happy to share it with you, because I feel if you can connect to it in that way, it helps inspire and keep you connected with God. I want to encourage that. I don't need anything in return, just the hopes that you can continue to pass on this to someone else so that they can also be touched and blessed by it. So that was just the piano version with him dry on it. And obviously after I add all the effects, we're going to play that back one more time with just that, right? Now you hear bigger. I know you're hearing the delay, so when he says certain things like, I'm going to show you right now. So why we do that purposely is just to create this ambiance and effects inside of the song for certain words, to make it seem like it just keeps going and it puts you in this mind state, in this zone. So this was a very pleasurable song to work with. Now we're going to go back to the actual mix. I'm going to open that back up again one more time so you can understand the final touches that I did to the song. Now once I had finished with his vocals, mixing it down in that original piano version I recorded. I now exported his vocals only by itself, with the effects, of course, the mixed version, and I put it into Logic, which is what I use to actually build the production around the song. That was my process. Sometimes I felt stuck because I did not know where to go with this project, how to work on each and everything, but I felt like I wanted to make it bigger. I released one song with someone else before, and it was pretty much my first trial and experiment, but I felt like for this time going around, I wanted it to be more special and bigger, and I took my time and really went back to work on the productions as if I'm producing an original song, even though I know I don't own the composition rights to the song. At least I can express my own version through these emotions and feeling that God has transpired in me. And I thank God for providing that clarity and understanding, because I asked for guidance. I got stuck at some point too, figuring out where should I go next. And that really helped out a lot. So the pads. Hear these pads? They just like put you in a space. Now, hearing him with just the pads, you can hear how that sound. Si abatido y dolido estás y cansado del peso cargar, Cristo nos llama. Si al final del camino estás, now with everything, sin saber hacia dónde mirar, piano rolls, everything. Cristo nos llama. This is where I brought in the strings now, because the strings had to make this even more powerful. So I'm going to isolate it so you can hear what that sounds like. Ven ante su trono, el Padre te recibe. See if I remember the progressions I did for this. Something close to that. With string arrangements, sometimes you don't play the same chords you play on the piano, because for it to really feel as realistic, it got to be more spacious in terms of how you organize and orchestrate your strings. So I take my time when I'm actually piecing that together. I know the chords weren't exactly the same one-to-one. I did some basic mastering on this just to make sure my bands, when I'm talking about bands, is the low frequency, mid frequency, and the high frequencies, right? The low frequency is all that bassy stuff. The mid is where the vocals really sit, and the high is where all that, you know, airy sound sits. Make sure those are balanced out, and did a correct spread on the stereo side to make sure like it sounds a bit wider. And I took out all the other frequencies that were unnecessary that would have made the song sound very muddy. And lastly, throw in that L2. What the L2 is actually like a limiter, so it makes the sound as loud for radio. So if you ever wonder why your songs sound the same across each song that you go transfer to, they have to go through this mastering process to make sure everything transitions pretty smoothly. And that was pretty much it. And then we ship this off. I typically master from a separate track. I spit out the final mix into 2 tracks, left and right, and I do that. But I didn't do that for this. I just did it all inside of the production session because I had the bandwidth to be able to do that. So I hope you found this insightful, motivating, inspiring to you as well. If you're a producer, aspiring producer, have any feedback, of course, I'm always open to hearing feedback, share ideas and thoughts. Just message me. We can chat. Drop it in the comments below. Or if you're someone that wants to know more about this song or want me to work on a particular cover, just let me know. I'm open to different ideas as well. If you know this one, this was some work. I'm not going to say this happened over the course of a night. Remember, 2 years ago is when I actually started doing the instrumental parts of this. Last year is when I recorded all the vocals and spent the year mixing down. And this year is when I got all the videos pretty much put together of us working together with the artist, recording the vocal parts as well as the instrumentation part to deliver to you. But I'm open. We are all doing this for the Lord, so I thank God for blessing us with the capability to do this. But any questions, ideas, suggestions you have, drop it in the comments. Share, like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I look forward to sharing more with you. Peace. Bless.
Yeah!